A lot of people want to know how to stop obsessing about work, but it just doesn't come easy for them. So that's what I'm going to get into in this video, coming up. Welcome to another episode of Fearless and Power Tube, the place to be if you want to win at life. Learning how to stop obsessing about work doesn't have to be so difficult, but we have to know what to do and what to focus on. We think that we want to have money, and it's all about success and prestige. And this is what we have our sights set on. And for some people, especially if they're a breadwinner, they feel as though that they've got a gun against their head and they have to make a living. They have to provide for their family. And certainly there is a lot of truth to that. But for some people, they feel like they are giving love by working so much, by providing and giving a certain lifestyle to their wife and to their children. And this is something that is really quite short-sighted. A lot of people are really just working their life away, and when they get home, there just doesn't seem to be much life left to live. And they wake up one day and they realize that their life has just passed them by, and they have just been obsessing at work. And a lot of times what happens is the family separates, and they tend to not have that close bond that they did once. So this is a major problem for a lot of people in our society today. So what can be done about it? Well, the first thing that we have to do is we have to decide what the priorities are. Is it really money? Now I want to talk about my own personal story here, because hindsight is 20/20, right? So I realized that my ex-husband was working a lot, and I wish that I had stood up and said something like, how about if we just live below our means? How about if we just sell our house and we live in a smaller house? That would have made life so much easier for him, and it would have made our life as a family so much closer. And we could have had a longer, stronger relationship. So it comes down to strategies. We start realizing what's really important here. And sometimes it's not the money. So doing this inner work is really important so that you can find clarity about what's really important to you. Do you have a family that you would like to spend more time with? Are you spending a lot of money on stuff and things that really don't matter? What really matters here? So we need to bring to the forefront standards. What are our standards? So in my situation, it seemed to be things. Now, it wasn't something that was really important to me, but my ex-husband really wanted to make sure that he had a certain status, right? And if you've known anybody like that, status is very important. It is something that is meaningful for success. It's something that you can show the world, I am successful. So we really want to start looking at what's really important here, like I said before. And it's my personal opinion, and I know many other people would agree with this. It boils down to the family. Humans are really much more important than status. So let's really write this down and take note of what your standards really are and what's really important to you. Ultimately, what we need to do here is we need to give work a whole new meaning. And I love the power of reframing here. We don't have to make work the most important thing in our lives. It's a completely different thing when work fulfills us and we love it and it lifts us up, and that becomes our sole meaning for living. You see, some people find fulfillment through their work, and this is why they're workaholics, but they're losing sight of the future. And I've talked about this before, but we want to take a look at the end of days, the end of our life, and that's really what is going to help us today when we start thinking about the eulogy and what we want people to say about us. Do you want people to say, oh, they earned a lot of money, they were really successful at work? Or do you want people to say, they had a really great family, they were a really great person, they really changed the world a lot? You see, and this is what's really important when we start thinking about the end of our life and what our legacy really is. Now, I think it's really important to talk about the family here. So when we talk about a workaholic, no one really cares if they're a workaholic, if it's a single man or a single woman. Certainly that there's concern about their health, but when this is a family member, if it is the mother, the father, the husband, or the wife, then we start considering the loved ones that are left home alone without him or her. We start thinking about their levels of love. We start thinking about how they perceive love and how they're perceiving this person working so much. And this is where the family begins to break down. So as I was talking about before, we need to start looking at what's really important here. And maybe it is the family themselves. How do they perceive love? This is something that would be really important for you to write down if you happen to have a journal. Start thinking about the love language of those people in your family. Once you understand how they perceive love, how they see love, how they feel love, then you can begin to know the direction that you need to take when you're starting to find balance between work and family. Finding balance between work and family can be absolutely impossible for a lot of people. And it's ever elusive because life is changing constantly. So we want to start thinking about how can I give more of myself to the people that matter. This is a very important question that you can ask yourself to help find more balance in your life. So if you want to stop being a workaholic, let's break it down. You need to find clarity to find out what matters most to you. Take a look at your values and find out what's really important. Take a look at the people in your life and find out how they see and feel love. Take a look at your standards and see what it is that you can change. And take a look at your health and see if that's something that is falling behind here and something that you need to focus on. And also, we want to make sure that you are finding a whole new meaning to working. We don't want you to be working your life away and feeling as though you are not fulfilled in life. So I hope this video was really helpful for you, and if it was, give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in winning at life, be sure to hit that subscribe button below so that you can join the family and get more videos just like this. That's all I have. Thanks so much for watching. This is Sharon Koenig and I am out.